The inheritance in the Almeida household, Grandparents' Day, had always been observed with reverence. This year was no different. As Maria prepared the traditional feast, arranging her grandmother's china with meticulous care, Maria paused, listening. Though she lived alone, the house never truly felt empty, especially not on July 26th. Her grandmother's eyes, captured in black and white, followed Maria across the room. Those eyes had always seen too much. The traditional sweetbread, baked according to Elisa's recipe, filled the house with a cloying scent. Maria had followed the instructions precisely, including the final step that required 3 drops of her own blood mixed into the dough. Family tradition, Elisa had explained. Buy for flavor, for remembrance, for continuity. The text described a pact made generations ago, a bargain struck between Maria's ancestor and something that dwelt in the spaces between worlds. Protection and prosperity in exchange for a vessel once every 3rd generation. The chosen one would be marked by the knowing. Her grandmother's mouth, previously set in a solemn line, now curved upward in a knowing smile. The eyes, once merely watchful, now held an eager anticipation. In life, Elisa had possessed what she called the knowing, an ability to perceive things others couldn't. Her fingertips left smudges on the ink, which seemed to writhe beneath her touch. Maria removed it from the oven without using mitts, her hands insensible to the heat. The loaf pulsed slightly, as if breathing. A million hidden truths, the weight of an ancient presence settling into her consciousness like an heir claiming its inheritance. Her reflection in the window showed Elisa's smile on her face, Elisa's hungry eyes peering out from her own. When she placed it on the table, the surface of the bread split open, releasing a cloud of steam that formed momentarily into a face Maria recognized from old family portraits. Maria took her seat at the head of the table, no longer alone, as the chairs around her filled with shadowy figures. The Almeida family, past and future, gathered for their true Grandparents' Day celebration, the day when the elders would feed. The legacy would continue, and Maria would finally understand what it meant to be the chosen vessel. The sweetbread in the oven had begun to emit a different odor, now not of sugar and cinnamon, but of copper and soil. A geef, she had insisted, though Maria had only ever witnessed it as a burden. They stopped abruptly at a blank page that slowly filled with fresh ink, forming words in Maria's own handwriting. The vessel is ready. In the silence that followed, she became aware of a soft scratching sound coming from within the walls. It moved in a circular pattern, as if something was trying to find its way out. Lightning illuminated the dining room in harsh flashes, casting multiple shadows behind Maria, though she stood alone. Or in the date marked not only Grandparents' Day, but also the anniversary of her grandmother Elisa S., passing 3 years prior. The delicate porcelain cups, adorned with faded blue flowers, had been passed down through 5 generations. Elisa had suffered from migraines that would leave her bedridden for days, during which she would whisper conversations with unseen entities. As a child, Maria had feared these episodes. Now, she understood them as preparation. Maria polished each piece until it gleamed under the dining room's amber light, ignoring how the floral pattern seemed to shift when viewed from the corner of her. The old grandfather clock in the hallway struck 3, its hollow chime reverberating through the empty house. Maria moved to the mantelpiece, where Elisa's photograph stood in a tarnished silver frame. The afternoon light waned as Maria completed her preparations. Outside, the sky darkened prematurely. A storm clouds gathered. A gust of wind rattled the windows, carrying the scent of rain and something else. Something ancient and earthy. Maria shivered despite the summer heat. The air inside the house had grown dense, pressing against her skin like a physical weight. At the center of the dining table sat Elisa's final gift to Maria, a leather-bound journal containing family histories, recipes, and remedies dating back centuries. Maria had never read beyond the first few pages, disturbed by the cramped handwriting that seemed to crawl across the yellowed paper like insect. Today, however, the book lay open, though Maria couldn't recall having touched it. The pages had turned to a section Maria had never seen before, titled simply The Inheritance. Maria's hands trembled as she touched the page. Boo! The grandfather clock struck 4, though Maria counted 5 chimes. On the mantelpiece, Elisa's photograph had changed. Maria felt a pressure building behind her, eyes the beginning of a headache that felt strangely familiar. The sweetbread was ready. Outside, the storm broke. Rain lashed against the windows in patterns, too rhythmic to be natural. The journal's pages began to turn on their own, faster and faster, releasing the scent of old paper and something metallic. Maria felt her grandmother's knowing bloom fully within her mind, 1,000 whispered voices. The grandfather clock struck midnight, though it was only the sweetbread continued to pulse on the plate before her, waiting to be shared.